We're deep diving today, so put on the snorkel gear.
Get the shark cage ready.
Get the shark cage. It's true. Get the shark cage ready, because whenever you get into certain deep waters, you have to be aware that there's forces on the other side that are trying to prevent you from finding the treasures. So yes, prepare, and here we go. Rosh Hashanah is a day of din. It's even called the Yom Hadin, the day of judgment. Din is intense. Din is when somebody says, no. We don't like that word so much. No. That's din. Din is a stop sign. Stop what you're doing. Let's investigate. Let's check things out. Let's open the books. Let's do an audit. Let's investigate. Are you worthy of this? Din is intense. Chesed, on the other side, is flowing. Yes. Chesed means move on through, sir. Everything's great. Din means please come over here, sir. Din means detailed analysis, investigation. And those energies in the world are represented by different names of God. Who knows what names of God are very powerfully identified with din? Elokim. So Elokim, that's the classic. Elokim is the name of din. It's interesting, in the Torah, Elohim is also another word for judge. Judges. Those that are the harbors of din, that lay down judgment and din. Interesting also that Elokim is a plural name of God. Now that's a bit interesting, because our entire belief is based on God being one. Elohim, Elokim, means that all of this world, as it's being divided and created and coming into multiplicity, Hashem has put forces in place of every single one of these elements of the world, but ultimately all those forces are all run by Elohim, by God. But still, at that part of the existence of creation, it's judgment. It's lower down, where there's judgment. Are you worthy of this? We have to investigate. As you get higher up, so to speak, it's nothing physical, conceptual. As you get higher up, everything is seen as total compassion, as total rachamim, as yud-kei vav-kei. But as things come down in this world, on the surface it looks very, very intense. An example, a parent who, God forbid, a child is running out to the street. We mentioned it earlier today. And this child is running to the street and doesn't notice they're trying to get a ball, and the child's too strong for the mother to hold back, and she sees a bat, and she takes the bat and she smashes the kid's knee. Hashem yirachem. Which is a lot of din. To break a child's kneecap is startlingly scary. And on the surface, that seems like a horrible din. But really, if you go up, that was coming from the highest compassion. But on the level of din, on the level of what you see, on the lower level, it's din. It's not good. It's not, we don't want to have kneecaps broken in. But on the higher level, we can appreciate that there's a higher truth, that it's compassion. Rosh Hashanah, though, is the day where din shows up. Because it's the day where there's going to be a decision, like the CEO deciding who's going to be part of this company the following year. Who's going to be part of this company? Let's do an evaluation. How did everybody perform? Let's see. Who's going to be part of this roster for the upcoming year? So that's a lot of din. There's a lot of, let's check. How did you perform? How did you do? Let's evaluate. So there's a weapon that we have to sweeten the judgment. The weapon is called the shofar. I'm going to share a few things with you now about how that happens. It's a bit mathematical and technical and more in Kabbalah, and we're just simple Yidden here. But because the tzaddikim told us that in the end of days we would need stronger medicine, the Rabbi Rashab explains that there was a king who had a son who got very, very sick, and all the regular doctors couldn't help him. And finally, one of the wise men of the community, he had a very unconventional method, and he took the crown of the king, and he took the crown jewel off the top, and he ground it up, and he mixed it with some very powerful herbs, and he fed it to the prince, and the prince was revived. And everyone said that would have killed a person, it's so strong. And he said, when someone's that sick, you need very powerful medicine. So they explained that this was the reason why in the end of days that the secrets of Torah, that Kabbalah, would become more available. Because in the previous generation, people weren't that sick. But now in the end of days, when people are so sick, I'm referring to spiritually sick, and so lost. So lost. Just look at people's screen time to get a gauge of where people are at, what their brains are doing in any given moment. You realize we might need some stronger medicine. So they said that was the reason why in the end of days there'd be a lot more Kabbalah coming out and being fed to the masses to help awaken the sleepers from their slumber. Yes?
What does that mean?
We're going to get into it right now. What does it mean? It means that we need powerful medicine.
No, I mean like what's going to happen?
When we take the medicine,
No. In the end of the
we're going to get healed.
What does that mean that Kabbalah will have to come out?
I think we see it that the world is in many ways going like zombies and very just out of it. In a certain way, it's not enough that we just give a person, let's just learn, a Mishnah. Of course, everything's in the Mishnah. The Mishnah is Kihem Chayenu. And the Vilna Gaon said he would have just learned, one Mishnah the rest of his life. Except those other parts of Shas, all the secrets are in the Mishnah. But because we don't have the sensitivity to appreciate, we need more revealed light. We need more powerful stuff being fed to us to wake us up from our slumber. Yes, David.
Why they don't want, they usually say they don't want Kabbalah accessible until you're older because it helps your life, and they don't want.
No, they wouldn't do that. Even though there is an energy called Tanya they talk about, which is an energy, a force in the world. It's an angel that tries to prevent secrets of Torah, intimate parts of Torah from going out to the world. There is such an energy in the world, and that's why the Baal Tanya wrote the Tanya, because the Tanya will come to fight the angel called Tanya, which is here to prevent secrets in the world from coming out.
What?
Yeah, there's such a thing.
No, what does that mean?
It means that there's an angel in the world called Tanya. Angels mean forces. Forces that are coming into reality and creating energy and putting ideas in people's heads, etc.
An angel is just a force?
An angel's a force, yeah. Angels aren't, like with wings and stuff. Angels aren't physical and with like halos and Geschmacka Hallmark cards.
Wasn't there on the Ara Kodesh, I think, the two angels?
The Kruvim, yeah.
Wouldn't those be angels?
So, but an angel is a spiritual entity. Spiritual things don't have physical parts. Yes, the Gemara talks about angels having wings, but it's a symbolic. Talks about angels having one leg, that they're fused together. That's why when you daven Shemona Esrei, you put your legs together. You fuse and become like an angel. But what that means is a symbolic, it's allegorical, is that an angel doesn't have legs that it can move because angels don't have free will. Whereas we have free will, so we're called mahalchim. We move. And angels are called oimdim. They don't move. That's the idea of the difference between the angels. So these are all allegorical things.
Rabbi, that is probably why the Kruvim were like that, to symbolize that. Doesn't mean that they literally physically look like that, though.
There were physical Kruvim in the base Kodesh HaKadoshim,
But only to represent the spiritual.
hinting to spiritual secrets. Okay? Yeah, Zev?
How long is the process going to take for everyone to be woken up?
We hope it's going to happen today, and Mashiach is going to come this very second. That's what we're davening for. Right, Avery? You're into that?
Exactly.
Sometimes you say that to be like, oh, like I was like going out for like, sausages later, and like I had like, that new place that opened up. Mashiach coming. I don't know. Like I had like a few like episodes to catch up on. I already ordered sushi. I don't know if I can make Mashiach tonight. Like maybe tomorrow. I got a business meeting and stuff happening. Yeah, I don't know. What about tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow there was like this other thing, like, a guy came in with a QP and like, we were gonna get involved, and so the next day, we're still finishing up the QP. The next day, well, then I was, could be 4 days from now, I have an opening in my schedule. And then 4 days from now, oh yeah, Bud Light came out with a deal. You get a sixer, so I gotta go down and apply and get into the lottery for a free 6-pack. I'm gonna be gone for a couple hours. Can't make that. So we're very funny when it comes to Mashiach, because it's like we're so not realizing that our life and humanity is going to change forever. Forever. So let's begin with some of the jewels of the King and start to imbibe them. And this will fix all the imbibing of unholy things that people have taken throughout the course of their life. Let's imbibe some good stuff. So let's look at the word shofar. Okay? All right, shofar. Looks good. What is the shin? Anybody know what's the numerical value of shin?
300.
Okay, 300. So the Sfarim say that shin, the shin of the shofar, when you think about the shofar, the shin of the shofar corresponds to the name. What's the name of din that we're always concerned with? Oh, there's a Torah paper on the floor. Maybe just grab it. Thank you. The Elokim. But not just Elokim, the full expansion of Elokim. So let's spell that out. That'd be an aleph, right? I'll write it in cursive. Aleph. How do you spell Elokim, right? That's the aleph of Elokim. Then lamed. How do you spell lamed? Mem daled. And then what? Hey. And then Yud. And then what? Mem. Mem. Okay, the full expansion of Elokim. So what's that? So aleph is what? 1. What's a lamed? 30. What's a fey? Don't worry, you guys will get this. 80. So what are we up to? You see, Torah makes you think.
111.
Which is also interesting because aleph is 1. And the full expansion of aleph is 1, 1, 1. Okay, I'll let you guys think about that. Aleph, right? Is that even when you think that aleph is expanding, it's all 1. Okay. Lamed, 30, 40, 4. So what are we up to? 74. Hey, 5. Yud. Okay, so 15. By the way, this when you do the Gematrias, it makes your brain explode. It brings a lot of Kedusha in when you do the Gematria yourself. Okay? Yud? 10. 6. 4. So what are we at? 20. And what's Mem? 40. Mem? 40. 80. So who's good? 8. 80. So 80, 20, 100, 115, 74.
200, 300, 201. 300.
Yeah? Did you doubt it? 300, okay? Baruch Hashem. So the shin of the shofar, when you're looking at the shofar, you grab the shin Literally, this is figurative. You literally see the shin elevating out of the shofar, and you picture that the whole of Elokim, as it is expanded out, is going to be sweetened, is going to be perfumed, is going to be fixed through the shofar. That's a problem. We only have a shin. What about the pei and the vav? So here's the pei and the vav. Let's put these together. So what's the pei and the vav? That's 86. Let's just do that one. It's a pretty easy one. So what's that? Just the name itself. Aleph, 1, 30, 5, 10, 40. Aboisai, come on, math. Okay, Baruch Hashem, 86. So the pei and the vav, the shin of shofar is Elokim fully expanded. The pei and the vav you see expanding out in your brain is Elokim. And the reish, well, reish is how much? 200. There's other types of Gematria, which is very intense. It's very intense din, because it means everything's always going back. It's never fully going. It's always going back to where it started from. So there's a way to spell out Elokim like this, where you go Aleph, okay, and then Aleph, Lamed. It's like we're going back, right? And then Aleph, Lamed, Hey, right? And Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud. And then Aleph, Lamed, let's put it like a Kuf, Yud, and then Hey. So Aleph, then back to Aleph, Aleph Lam, then back to Aleph, Aleph Lam, then back to Lam, right? You see how it's going back?
You mean a mem there? No,
Excuse me, yeah. And the mem at the end. So what are we at? Aleph is 1, right? And then 31. And then 36. And then 46. And then we'll just add another 40, so 86. So 86, 46, 36, 31, 1. 200. Okay, so the shofar, inside the shofar, when you see the shofar of Rosh Hashanah, just thinking about the letters of shofar, you're already seeing all of this Elokim, like massive din, massive judgment, mega judgment that the shofar is going to be dealing with. The shofar is coming to fix that. Okay? So far, so good? Not only that, though. Rosh Hashanah is intense din. Okay? So let's move on. There's other types of din that they talk about. What's the other type of din? It says there's something called shach and par dinim. Shach is what's the Gematria? 320. How many times is Elokim mentioned in the creation of the world?
320.
That's a great guess. I was setting that one up. It's great. That's a lot.
It's Elokim.
20, isn't it like
It's
25? 30?
okay, 32 times
In the whole Chumash?
in Maisa Bereshis. In Maisa Bereshis, in the formation story of the world, Elokim is mentioned 32 times. And every time that we mention Elokim, we mean all 10 aspects and all the 10 spheres, the entirety of din coming in at every level of creation. So we have 32 times it mentioned, times 10 spheres, times 10 elements. Okay, so that's the 320 levels of din called shach dinim. Now the problem is, in this world that was created with 32 times Elokim, and each of them have 10 elements, if you mess up, I don't mean you, I mean somebody, if a person messes up why creation was made, which was to crown God the King, and to make Hashem a palace in this world, if a person goes against that and rebels against that, and just plays Smash Brothers 24/7, I don't mean you can't play a few minutes here or there as like chill out time. I mean to make it like a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's pulling away from the purpose of creation, and that arouses these 320 intense prosecuting forces. Okay? That's called the Shach Dinim. Okay? Yeah.
Where do you get the 10 from?
10 is that every time that it says Elokim, it means that Elokim created something at all 10 elements of creation. The 10 spheres of creation is that the world is divided into 10 qualities, which we'll talk about another time. 10 qualities of creation, of how Hashem creates and runs the worlds. Okay? So that's the Shach. What about Par? Where's the Par? Excellent. Anybody know what letters are unique letters in the Hebrew alphabet? That you only find them at the end of a word.
Nun Sofit and Mem Sofit.
Excellent. We call Menatzpach. Hey, what are the letters that only show up at the end of words? Mem, right? And we say end the mem. Nun, right? There's and the langa nun, the end nun. Sadi, and a end sadi. Pei, right? There's a fei, the end of fei. And chaf, menatzpach. Okay? The fact that those are letters that only show up at the end mean there's some type of din, like stop. You can't add something after this letter. Right? This is like that one. You can't add something after one of these letters. That's it. Like that's din. Like nothing to talk about here. So what's 40 and 50 and 90 and 80 and 20? Okay, 280. So these are the par dinim. These are din. Okay? So what are we going to do with this? There's like a lot of din on Rosh Hashanah. So we dealt with the first part of Elokim, with the shofar. But how do we do with the shach and the par dinim? So good thing that you have a shofar, right? Because look, there's the par dinim. But we're missing. How do we deal with the shach? We're missing. This is what's the Gematria? That's 280. What's the Gematria of shin and avav? 306. That's a problem because we need to get to 320. So how do we fix the rest of the shach dinim? Says the Arizal, you need the hand of the one who's blowing the shofar. The yad is the shofar, and then the yad, and then add on the yad, the one who's holding the shofar. The yad is Gematria 10 and 4, that's 14. 14 plus 306, you're there, you're shach. You're mamish, you did it. That's the yad, and of course the yad of the one holding the shofar, the yad has how many pirkin, how many joints are on a yad? 14, right? There's 1, 2, it's only 2 on the thumb. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 14 joints, that's the yad, even on your hand, which is yad, shows you the 14 there. You add the yad and the shofar, and you're thinking about fixing everything. Rabbi Yisrael, this is part 1 of this. B'siyat d'shma, we should be zayich l'meshitz kingdom. Amen. Kol tuv.